Meeting will now please come to order. Please turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate. Thank you all. Okay, first we have Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Terrier, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we have roll call. Mr. Gisclair, will you please lead us?
Thank you, Mr. Sheremy. Seat A, Chucky Sheremy.
Here.
Seat B, Perry Gisclair. Here. Seat C, Jimmy Lafont.
Here.
Seat D, Rodney Gisclair.
Here.
Seat E, Curtis Pierce.
Here.
Seat F, Larry Griffin.
Here.
Seat G, John Melisson.
Here.
Seat H, Mike Cully.
Here.
Seat I, Chris Cully.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Gisclair. Before I read for the approval minutes, I'd like to say, I would like everyone today to have in thought and say prayers for our members of 9/11 that have perished away, and the ones, the workers, the firemen, the policemen, and all who are still having problems. I remember exactly today we had a port meeting over here, and our port meeting was on. We were watching it on TV while port meeting was going on. So please today, in prayers, in silence, please think of the people of 9/11. Thank you all. Next, we have approved minutes for August 14, 2019 regular meeting and August 28, 2019 special meeting.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Gisclair, second by Mr. Griffin. We got any discussion? Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have Director's Report. Mr. Chasson's not here today, so we got the mighty Mr. Breaux leaving us. Mr.
Right.
Breaux.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, Mr. Chasson's in Washington, D.C., trying to do some work on funding for the infra grant for LA1, as well as the state CPRA asked him to attend. They're trying to maybe increase some Go Mesa revenues, as well as keeping up with our last submittal on the 203 feasibility study. First up on the agenda is the northern expansion, and northern expansion slip C 400-foot part 2 bulkhead, Piciola and Associate.
Sea Level Construction is the contractor. They have begun working on the access road and clearing the site and prepping the site. They're also bought their sheet piles and they prepping those in anticipation of starting work in the next month or so.
Any questions for Joe? Thank you, Joe. Next is northern expansion slip C 1,100-foot east bulkhead. Joe?
Yeah, this is the continuation of that project along slip C, and we're currently advertising for bids. We're going to be accepting bids next Wednesday, September the 18th at 2 p.m.
No questions? We'll move on to Montesheremy Senior Road Paving, Angelette Piciola, Larry P.
Yes, the contractor on this project is Barney Talbot. He has completed all the paving on Montesheremy Road. He's just doing some dress-up work and a little shoulder work. They still have to stripe it and put in some sign. No signs, just striping. Now they're moving on to the patching work throughout the port. There's 4 or 5 spots that they got to do some patching and shoulders for driveways. They're waiting on their milling machine to come in. As soon as that comes in any day now, they're finishing up a job someplace else. As soon as that comes in, they'll be finishing in probably 4 or 5 days.
All right, good deal. Any questions for Mr. Larry? If not, Coastal Wetlands Park. On the Coastal Wetlands Park that we have under construction, our marsh buggy excavator, Carl, is continuing to dress and shape the levees along the sides of the Tidal Creek, as well as we just started hauling material from the port slip D plug. We have a contract to hauling material for a future parking lot. So that is moving on, and we'll see changes coming in the future. We're still trying to get funding for different things we want to do on this wetland park. We'll keep you updated on it. Any questions on the wetland park? If not, we'll move to airport projects, and first on the airport projects are aircraft operations. Joe Wheeler is out at a NASAO conference, so the information on aircraft operations is this month 2,681 operations is actually the heaviest or largest number of operations this year so far. In passengers, we had 11,391 this month, which is second highest of the year. And vehicle count was 18,573, which is the second as well in vehicle count. So pretty busy month we had at the airport this last month. Next is airfield drainage improvement. Construction phase, the plans design group is the engineer on that project. We've had our pre-construction meeting. We're waiting for a notice to proceed on that project. And a little further down on the agenda, there's a DOTD agreement for some funding on that project from DOTD of $35,876. So we'll recommend approval later on in the meeting. Under other projects, South Lafourche Levee District LA1 realignment at the flood wall. Joe Picciola, want to update us on that Levee District project?
Yes, Byron Talbot's the contractor. The asphalt is done. They put in the rumble strips and the striping this week. They're also putting in guardrail right now. They're gonna plan on moving in probably next week to remove the old roadway and then make the tie-in with the levee. So that project should be wrapping up in the next couple weeks.
Good deal. Thank you. Next is 203 feasibility study, GIS engineering. John, please.
As you mentioned earlier, David, we made the final the next submittal last week at Friday, I believe it was. We are meeting somebody with Chet and the Corps tomorrow in Washington.
Good deal. Thank you, John.
Thank y'all.
Bell Pass Tower upgrades. April?
Good morning. So we're finalizing the contract on the design and engineering of the platform substructure modification so it can hold a 50-foot round tower.
All right, then we'll move on to public comment. Truckee has a public comment first.
Okay. Jason, will you please introduce us to our new employee for the Harbor Patrol? Would you stand, please? All right.
Okay, just want to welcome to our group. It's Jamie Terrio. She comes to us from the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office.
All right. Ms. Terrio, you have anything to say? All right. Welcome aboard. We're glad to have you and hope you stay a long time with us and that everything works out for you. But the commission is very happy to have you working for us now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
Next on the public comment, we did have Greg Terrebonne asked to speak, so I'll ask Greg to come up first. He and Father.
So, g'day. I'm Australian. My name is Father Antonio, or Tiol. G'day, Tiol. I'm a Catholic priest here. Greg Terrebonne and I are working on a project that has been developing over the past 4 years. It's a Eucharistic procession up by Lafourche. I'm currently the administrator of the Dulac Holy Family Church, but this project we work together. As you know better than me, the Mississippi was first called the River of the Holy Spirit by the Spanish, and then called the River of the Immaculate Conception by the French. And our land, the Louisianan soil, is made from 31 to 38 states, you'd know better than me, of the soil of the United States of America. Our first Catholic faith, the faith that we have here, which is so strong, very different to Australia from where I come from, is founded on these men who came from Nova Scotia, men and women who suffered to live out their faith. And what I love about this part of the world is indeed its rich and strong faith. These people came down pirogues, came down the bayou to give us the faith that we have today. And we will be travelling up Bayou Lafourche on October the 5th. The event that we're holding is a Eucharistic procession which we have, Greg will talk about the details about it, but it will leave on from Our Lady of Prompt Succor in Golden Meadow. We're going all the way up to Thibodeau with the Eucharist, a Eucharistic procession. We'd like to invite you and the public to join us in this Eucharistic procession.
So as Father Antonio said, this will be October the 5th on a Saturday. We will start with a French Mass at Our Lady of Prompt Succor in Golden Meadow at 8 o'clock. At 9:30, we will proceed by boat. The monstrance with the Eucharist will be put on a boat. We'll also have a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary will be put on a boat. We will proceed up to Our Lady of the Rosary in La Rose. We'll get there around 11:30. From there, the monstrance will come off the boat. We'll go into the church. There will be a service in the church. And at 12:30, the monstrance will be put on a fire truck, and we will proceed by vehicle with police escort all the way up to St. Joseph Cemetery in Thibodeau, where Father Menard is buried. Father Menard is the one responsible in the 1800s for starting most of the mission churches that are currently churches in our Catholic Diocese of Houma-Thibodeau. Once we get to St. Joseph Cemetery, around 1:30, we'll proceed by foot with the monstrance and the Eucharist to St. Joseph Co-Cathedral, arriving around 2:15. And at St. Joseph Co-Cathedral, Bishop Sheldon Fabre will be there to receive the monstrance, bring it into church. We'll have a short service there. We'll be finished around 2:45 that afternoon. We encourage anyone who has a boat that would like to be in the procession. You can show up. Like I said, Mass starts at 8 o'clock, and the procession will depart from Our Lady of Prompt Succor at 9:30. If you need any more information about putting a boat in the procession, you can call the rectory at Our Lady of Prompt Succor, and then they'll direct you to me, and I'll be in touch.
Just like to thank you for inviting us and the great work that you guys do, and really hope that this event can bless the work that actually happens at Port Fauchon right up to Thibodeau, this blessing of the water, which even many people have lost their lives along over the years.
This is for any denomination,
Absolutely.
not just for Catholics.
Absolutely. Anyone's welcome to join us.
Okay.
That's great.
But
yeah.
for the public.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
definitely.
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Okay,
Thank
Father,
you.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate y'all being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, we're still on the public comment. I know there's a few candidates in the audience. Anybody for parish president wish to speak?
There's only one of us, so I guess you're talking to me.
Yeah,
And
and I don't think Mr. Sherman has you under a rush order this time.
Mr. President, members of the commission, thank you so much. Most of you know me, but my name is Archie Chasson. I'm a candidate for Lafourche Parish President. I began my career working in the 10th Ward, working for you guys, the Levy District and the parish, and have built a career over the years of waking up every day and working hard to build a better tomorrow for our kids and our grandkids. This race is really personal to me. I have a 6- and a 4-year-old daughter that I want to be able to grow up here just like I did in the great community, be able to attend Nichols or Fletcher, and be able to grow up here in a parish that is not overtaxed, that has great drainage and coastal infrastructure, and has an economy that is thriving so they can stay here and raise their kids and my grandkids, hopefully. But a couple of things that I really want to touch base on. One, is I've made the commitment in talking with Chet and a few of you guys on the Port Commission. We're going to push really hard and work with you guys to finish that airport access corridor. It was a project that I was blessed enough to work on a little bit in its infancy, working with Joni Tuck when she was at the parish and the Port Commission on some initial Tiger grants, but seeing the funding that you guys have here from the state, from CPRA, and I'm committed to matching with parish funds during our administration to help complete that road. It's going to be a huge economic driver for this area, and really connect 3235 with the airport and make your operations there so much better. And secondly, we're going to focus a lot of our time on coastal restoration, again, where I began my career, and I've made a commitment that we're going to do it without suing any oil and gas companies. Doesn't make business sense for us here in our parish, doesn't make business sense for you guys who run basically the crown jewel of our parish. It is the economic driver, and to run some of these companies out of here with a simple lawsuit when we can work with them and build long-term sustainable relationships and get money and restore our coast in a responsible manner. So as we go through the next 30 days of the election, I ask for your prayers, and whether you're early voter, you go to the polls on October 12th, vote number 97, Archie Chesson for parish president. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Archie. Next on the list, any council members would like to speak? Anybody running for council? How about senator? I don't think we have anyone. Well, we do. We have a representative.
Good morning, commissioners and Mr. Bro and public, members of the public. I'm representing Big Mike Fazy, who is a candidate for State Senate District 20, and he's dedicated to working with the commission to improve the port and maintain it and continue to improve it as you all have worked so hard to do. And I'm sending his messages today. He was not able to make it, but he is hoping to make the next meeting, which will be after early voting. But he wanted to send his regards in advance of that, in case any of you do go early. But thank you for your time, and feel free to contact us if we can help you all in any way.
Thank you, Mike.
To represent Mike, you
Yes,
have
sir.
to put on some weight.
I'm Michael DeLon. I work with
Thank you, Mike. All right, next, we have someone for representative, I believe.
Good morning, commissioners, Mr. Breaux, guests here in attendance, and those watching at home. As most of you all already know, my name is Reggie Bagala, and I'm a candidate for the Ports Area State Representative. I was born, raised, and educated and worked here, other than my stint at LSU to obtain my political science degree. I've worked the federal, state, and local levels in government. I've prepared my entire life for this position. I understand the dynamics, the terrain, and the landscape of this community, and I also understand the dynamics, the terrain, and the landscape of our capital in Baton Rouge and our capital in Washington, D.C. This is what I will bring to our district. Electing me as your next state representative will send someone to Baton Rouge who doesn't need a learning curve or someone who needs to figure it out. I'm endorsed by LOGA, Louisiana Oil and Gas, the Independents, the LCCM, which is the Louisiana Committee for a Conservative Majority, the PAC directed by Attorney General Jeff Landry and U.S. Senator John Kennedy, and the Jefferson Parish Republican Party Executive Committee. And I'd like to take this opportunity to announce my latest 2 endorsements that came through yesterday, and one that I got on the way up here. ABC, the Associated Builders and Contractors, have endorsed me, and LABI, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. And driving up here, I got a call from LaMoga, which is the Mid-Continent, the majors. So I have the independents, the majors, and all the other ones that I just mentioned. These relationships I've forged will only assist the port and other district governmental entities with projects needing completion, like the airport corridor, like the elevated highway to the port, as well as its completion to Highway 90. That's important to me. No one's talking about it. We need to have a discussion about it. It has to be done. And setting the new port projects on a proper trajectory in Baton Rouge. Thank you for lending me this time today. And I will leave you with the last 2 lines of a press release that's going to be released this morning by the ABC, which is Associated Builders and Contractors, PAC. After a great deal of consideration and recognizing Reggie Bagala's strong background in the district and his relationships in the business community, the ABC Merit PAC believes Mr. Bagala will be an incredible asset, not only to the residents of House District 54, but to all citizens of this state. Additionally, the ABC Merit PAC is confident that Reggie Bagala will be a tireless voice for both Louisiana's construction and business community and the Louisiana House of Representatives. Thank you for allowing me this time to address the port this morning.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe we do have one judge candidate, Mr. Rene Gautreau.
Thank you, Commissioners, and Mr. Breaux. My name is Rene Gautreau. I'm 53 years old. I was born and raised in the South Lafourche area. I'm the first of 4 children born to Elmo Gautreau and Joy Bruce. My dad was a pharmacist, my mom was a homemaker, and they taught me the values of hard work and taking care of your community. I'm a proud graduate of South Lafourche High School. I went to Holy Rosary Elementary. In fact, T. Jim's wife was my 6th grade science teacher. I went to LCO Junior High, and as I said, I was a 1984 graduate of South Lafourche High School. I pumped gas for Philip Guidry at Burt's Exxon during my time in high school at South Lafourche. The day after I graduated high school, Charlie Bruce gave me a job on one of his tugboats to go work offshore, and I spent 40 days on that first trip working offshore before my first semester at LSU. And I did that my second semester also. I graduated from LSU with a bachelor's degree in 1988. I taught high school English for 3 years, and it was during that time that I met my wife, who was a college student, Debbie Sotil, and we decided that we were going to get married. I went to CF Industries, where I was a chemical plant operator for about a year and a half before I went to LSU Law School, and I graduated LSU Law School in 1997, took the bar exam, and was sworn in to the Louisiana Bar Association to practice law on a Friday, October 10th, 1997. I opened up my own office right in Bill Pousson's his little duplex office on October 13th, 1997, which was a Monday. Basically hung my own shingle out. I practiced law down in the South Lafourche area until 2001, when I moved up to Thibodaux, and I still practice domestic law, business law, probate, successions, and car accidents when you can get them. In 2002, I was working for the Indigent Defender Board as a contract public defender, and in 2003, Cam Morvant, when he got elected, asked me to work for him as one of his prosecutors, and I worked under his administration for 15 years, and then Christine Russell kept me on her, in her administration for a year until I resigned on August 5th, 2019. I have 16 years as a prosecutor, and what I'm most proud of is that I've spent those years putting away some of the worst criminals in this parish. I've prosecuted successfully people for aggravated rape, armed robbery, possession of child pornography, distribution of cocaine, vehicular homicide, and I can go on, that I've asked for convictions from Lafourche Parish juries and actually gotten those. I've also been exceptionally reasonable and fair in dealing with defendants, and I've gained a reputation for being one of the fairest prosecutors in the DA's office. Those are what I bring to the bench, and I would ask for your vote. The time that I spent in the DA's office protecting the parish is what I'm most proud of, because it protected my children, my 3 children, Holden, who's 20, and my twins, Gabrielle and Grant, who are seniors in Thibodaux High. The election's October 12th, and I'd ask for your vote. I'm number 92 on the ballot. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? If not, that concludes my report, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Mr. Breaux. You did a good job today. Okay, next we have committee reports. First is Executive Committee. Members are Chucky Sherman, Chairman, Rodney Gisclair, Perry Gisclair, and John Nelson Jr. First, we have consider approving the DOTD agreement for the airport connector road and bridge.
And that's just final paperwork for the $16.4 million bill grant. So I would say we want to approve that.
All right, need a motion.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have consider approving the intergovernmental cooperative endeavor agreement with the Lafourche Parish government for the airport connector road and bridge. Mr. Breaux.
This is same project that we were talking about above, and this is signing an agreement and getting a commitment from the parish on their funding for the local match on that project.
All right, need a motion.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mike Colley, seconded by Mr. Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, consider approving the flotation canal servitude with Wisner.
Flotation canal servitude extension is to allow us a little more time in surveying property lines where that final bulkhead would be built, as well as protecting the north bank, which we committed to, and we will do it. They're just giving us a little more time.
All right, need a motion.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Perry Gisclair, seconded by Jimmy Lafont. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have consider approving the request from Francis Drilling Fluids to sign lease to FDF Energy Services LLC.
As this one, as Bryce mentioned Monday night, this is Francis Drilling Fluid with a name change, same group. Recommendation was to approve.
All right, need a motion.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Chris Colley, seconded by Mr. Rodney Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, consider approving the request from Baker Hughes to extend sublease with Martin's Holding on site GLF 307-13.
Same thing, extension of a sublease that existed. They're coming to us for approval. It's an additional 5-year with the same group, so recommendation would be to approve.
You need a motion. Moved by Mr. Larry Griffin, second by Mr. Curtis Pierce. Any discussion? Public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next, consider approving the delegate and alternates to attend the AAPA Annual Convention meeting.
And this is required by AAPA annual convention. Chet would be named, is what they agreed to Monday night. Chet would be named as the person voting, the one vote that we have, with alternates being Vice President Rodney Gisclair and Treasurer John Melanson.
All right. You need a motion.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mike Colley, second by Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. That concludes our executive committee. Next, we move on to permits and water mains committees. Members are Perry Gisclair, Chairman, Curtis Pierce, Jimmy Lafont, Chucky Sherman. Mr. Gisclair, you're up, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First is Corps of Engineers Belpass Jetty Extension and Repair Project.
The Belpass Jetty project, the contractor Bertucci is on site. He should be mobbing out today or tomorrow. He will be finished working on the East Jetty. He is going to do some work in Grand Isle for a separate project for about 45 days. We were able to get the Corps to let loose of some additional funding, so 12,000 tons will be placed on the West Jetty. In about 45 days, they need to cut that stone and have it shipped down here. So in the 45 days while they're in Grand Isle, that'll take place. And on their way leaving Grand Isle, they'll stop and put that additional 12,000 tons on the West Jetty, which should shore us up for the remainder of the hurricane season.
Any question? Next, we move on to the permits. First is Kywet Land LLC, Lafourche Parish, Louisiana. Proposed development project at Port Fourchon. 1, construction of plus or minus 5,779 feet of bulkhead and reclamation of plus or minus 6.9 acres along bank line. 2, excavation of 4 173 by 235 foot boat slips. 3, suction hydraulic dredging of approximately plus or minus 17.0 acres of Bayou Lafourche and flotation canal adjacent to bulkhead. 4, creation and restoration of plus or minus 14.3 acres of marsh through beneficial use of dredge material BUD plan. Next is approximately 250,370 cubic yards of excavated material to be transported by hydraulic dredge pipeline to an abandoned excavated pipeline canal, 5,110 feet by 130 feet as part of BUD plan, and plus or minus 216,630 cubic yards of excavated material to be stockpiled on previously permitted site. And this is an application for a permit extension. Next is Hillcore Energy Company, Lafourche Parish, Louisiana, proposed plugging and abandoning of 4 well locations, removing approximately 6,175 feet of flow line and removing all storage equipment associated with the field. Approximately 10,174 cubic yards of water bottom material may be displaced from prop washing to access the facilities. Approximately 7.5 acres of vegetative wetlands and approximately 4.5 acres of unconsolidated water bottoms may be impacted as a result of this proposed activity. Next is Loop LLC, MOL pipeline inspection and repairs in Lafourche Parish. This maintenance activity entails excavation of the pipeline and open water location. The excavation work will facilitate a visual inspection of the pipeline and, if required, repairs. After the inspection is completed and all necessary repairs are made, the excavation will be backfilled and the project area will be returned to pre-project conditions. Next is Corps of Engineers, maintenance dredging of Port Fourchon Jetty and Bar Channel segment, Lafourche Parish. Remove approximately 625,000 cubic yards of material from between mile 0.5 and mile 1.8 with a hydraulic cut-ahead dredge. The material removed would be deposited unconfined along the Gulf of Mexico shoreline adjacent to the jetties for beach nourishment process. And if there are no questions, Mr. President, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gisclair. Next, we walk into Construction and Development Committee. Members are Larry Griffin, Chairman, Chris Colley, Jimmy Lafourche, and Chucky Sherman. Mr. Griffin, we are very glad, I can't say this enough, that you're back.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, let me say I'm happy to be back. It's been a long haul, 4 months. 2013, I had a hip replacement, and then this year, May of this year, developed an infection. They had to pull it out. So I was over 3 months without no hip, laying flat on my back, unable to move. So my strong faith in God and your prayers, the phone calls, the notes, the visits, that's what kept me going. Believe me, wouldn't have been for that, I almost gave up. So I'm glad to be back, and they put my hip back the 31st of July. So I'm glad to say I'm hip again. So thank you all. Thank you very much for the prayers. I felt them, believe me. Okay, first is construction and development. Consider approving DOTD sponsorship agreement for airfield drainage improvements, construction phase.
As mentioned earlier, this is DOTD's share of the of $35,876 of a match, and we also have FAA funding of $322,801 on that certain project. But
Okay.
this is DOTD's portion.
Need a motion?
Move.
Moved by Mr. Gisclair, second by Mr. Lafourche. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
And that concludes my long report, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Griffin. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
Next, we have Finance Committee. Members are John Mellison Jr., Chairman, Rodney Gisclair, Mike Cully, Chucky Sherman. Mr. Mellison, your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman. And Mr. Griffin, it is great to have you back.
Thank you
I
very
want to let
much.
you know that. All right, we'll begin by consider approving payment of the August 2019 invoices and recognizing those expenditures over $10,000. And we'll begin with item 1, Byron E. Talbot Contractors Incorporated, $82,242.64, and that is for the Minus Jeremy Road paving project in Fourchon. Item 2, PC Olin Associates Incorporated, $60,501.88, and that's for Slip C 1,100 linear feet of east bulkhead, along with Slip C Phase 3 400 linear feet of east bulkhead, and general engineering services and permits. Item 3, Transform YX, $55,269.60. That is for Cisco SmartNet yearly renewals. Item 4, Epic Aviation, $44,262.71, and that is for aviation fuel for resale. Item 5, GIS Engineering, $40,250.20, and that is for the continued work on the Section 203 feasibility study. Item 6, Sea Level Construction Incorporated, $33,682.25, and that's for Slip C Phase 3 Bulkhead Part 2. Item 7, American Integration Contractors, $26,370.55, and that is for camera, maintenance, quarterly contract, and services. Item 8, Bank of America, $24,572.86, and that is for monthly credit card charges. Item 9, NOAA, $23,500, and that is for real-time ports system for title data. Item 10, Vision Communications, $23,484.31, phone, internet, and cable services. Item 11, Grand Isle Shipyard, $17,396.12, and that's for labor at the airport. Item 12, Angelette Picciola LLC, $16,664.26, and that's for Fouchon Beach Maintenance Restoration and Protection Project, along with Minor Cherami Senior Road Paving Phase 1 and Fouchon Island Conceptual Development. These expenditures, along with the rest, bring us to a grand total of $948,920.96. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion, we accept these expenditures.
Okay, got a motion by Mr. John Ellison, second by Mike Cully. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Next, as discussed on Monday night's committee meetings, consider approving the 2019 August unaudited financial statements, and I'd like to make a motion, we accept these.
Okay, moved by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Larry Griffin. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you. Next, we have consider approving the 2019 insurance renewals, and we'll have a presentation by Ms. Parker and her associate.
Miss Linda Monarjon is here today. She is our Aon representative. She's going to discuss our insurance renewal premiums.
Good morning. There were two proposals presented, one with the current insurance companies that are writing the port's insurance. That proposal would result in a overall increase for the year of 1.3%. A second option was presented with optional quotes for the bumper shoot or excess liability insurances, and if that one is chosen, then the overall premiums for the year would result in a reduction of 0.59%. Short and sweet. Does any questions?
And if y'all have any questions, but Monday night, the recommendation was to go with all the existing current contracts except for Ascot Beasley for that bumper shoot, which would give us a decrease in the premium. That was the recommendation.
All right, so I'd like to make a motion, we accept the insurance renewals along with the Ascot Beasley option.
All right, I have a motion, need a second.
Second.
From Mr. Jusclair. Any discussion? Public comment?
And that is for a yearly renewal for airport and seaport.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Linda.
And last, we have consider accepting out-of-state travel and training requests. We have on October 20th through the 25th in Nevada, Police Harbor Chief Michael Kindler, along with Police Sergeant Jason Plaisance, attending the 2019 Fall Law Enforcement Conference. And on January 21st through the 26th in Washington, D.C., we have Director Chasson, along with commissioners, attending the Louisiana Live event and Washington meetings. And I'd like to make a motion, we accept these out-of-state travel and training requests.
I got a motion by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. President, this concludes the financial report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mellison. Any other business? Public comment?
Public comment.
Okay, Mr. Breaux, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make a public comment. I did attend last week some good news in the parish. Actually, we had Governor John Bell Edwards and Thibodeau to sign. CPRA will be spending on coastal restoration projects about $36 million in our area, along with, I think, $5.6 million was dedicated to the South Lafourche Levee District. I see Mr. Roland Guidry here, who represents us well on that levee district, and the additional funding was going to North Lafourche Levee District. So it was nice to see some funding heading south for coastal restoration and protection and levee protection.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Breaux. Any other public comment? Mr. Gisclair.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn, Mr. President.
I have a motion by Mr. Gisclair. Second by Mr. Chris Colley. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion's passed. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to our meeting today. It was nice to see everyone. Please, in your thoughts today, like I said earlier, remember 9/11, and also consider all our veterans, and especially the veterans who fought because of 9/11 for our country. Thank you very much for coming to our meeting. Meeting adjourned.